Hello everyone, I'm Vivi and thank you for tuning in. I don't know if you've heard or been aware, word's been getting around that a live-action Jak and Daxter film is in the works. Wait, is this a rumor? Yes, and we'll get to that. It's just, right off the bat, a live-action Jak and Daxter film is not what I personally would imagine. I don't know about you, but adapting Jak and Daxter as live-action, it's just... You just wonder how they'll go about this whole thing, if, of course, this ever truly happens. Other things like, hey, will it look appealing? Will it carry the charm the games have? You just have all these sorts of questions at play here. Before we continue, you might be asking about the source of this rumor. This comes from My Time to Shine Hello on Twitter. X. I still call it Twitter. Some refer to them as MCU Leaker, MCU Insider, or just Movie Insider in general. Tom Holland to play Jak. Chris Pratt eyed to voice Daxter in live-action Jak and Daxter movie from Sony, directed by Ruben Fleischer. Venom, Uncharted. There are some names in here which don't sound surprising, and here's what I mean. To some extent, we do have information about a Jak and Daxter movie, but in reality, no one knows if we're getting animated or live action. Remember, the whole live action part is just a rumor, but for a movie project itself, that's actually been talked about by Uncharted and Venom's director, as shown in the tweet, Ruben Fleischer. Alright then, let's clarify this whole thing. Live action Jak and Daxter film? Nothing's ever been officially confirmed by Naughty Dog nor PlayStation, so this immediately falls in the rumor file. As for Ruben Fleischer and Tom Holland, this isn't the first time they get mentioned when it comes to Jak and Daxter. Short version, Tom Holland over a year ago had showed interest for a Jak and Daxter film, especially for the role of Jak. Did he want to play Jak in live action? Yes. As for Ruben Fleischer, not only did he share a few details, but he also had coincidentally gotten into contact with Holland regarding this movie adaptation. As for the long version, back in February 2022, Tom Holland was interviewed by GameSpot. He was given a scenario. He gets a blank check, has the choice to adapt whichever video game into a movie while also playing a character of choice. He picked none other than Jak and Daxter, and would love to play as Jak. Not only that, but in live action. A24-like. Weird and dark. Couple days later, out of the blue, Ruben Fleischer mentions that he's actually working on a Jak and Daxter project during an interview with Digital Trends. Games Radar a day later publishes an exclusive interview with Fleischer. Coincidentally, he explains that he was sent an article of Tom Holland wanting to play in a Jak and Daxter movie. Naturally, the director being familiar with Holland, he tells him, hey, I'm trying to make a Jak and Daxter film, with the possibility of them teaming up together again. Fleischer also iterates how Jak and Daxter's buddy relationship is the center of it all. Also mentions sort of what inspired the idea of a live-action adaptation in the first place. Writers were hired in process for the script, and also mentioned working with Naughty Dog and PlayStation. Again in February, he adds how a movie like Jak and Daxter would be more like space opera. Yeah, kind of a head-scratcher. That one, ain't it? He reiterates the tone of the whole buddy relationship Jak and Daxter have. Lastly, we have this whole Chris Pratt rumor. When imagining a Jak and Daxter movie, I always believed animated would be the way to go. It's simply a matter of capturing the essence and tone of the series. Just picturing live action? Will it look good? That's the question that always pops in my head. Will it feel like a Jak and Daxter movie? Just like Ratchet and Clank. Well, at least looking at the movie cast. I take it having Chris Pratt in the equation is their way of attracting an audience. Think about it. Why Chris Pratt out of anyone out there? Because he's known in this industry. Not to mention Tom Holland. They hold a strong presence in the movie industry. Heck, Pratt got to voice Mario, we can't forget. This also feels familiar? Holland and Pratt working together, they both voiced these two in Onward. Jak and Daxter hasn't had an actual new entry in 14 years. Naturally, Sony would aim for bigger names. Whatever adaptation we get for Jak and Daxter, it'll most likely be involved with PlayStation Productions. No different than Uncharted or Gran Turismo, Twisted Metal, and The Last of Us. They all run under the same brand. If a Jak and Daxter movie ever happens and gains enough success, heck, it could give us that green light for more games in the future. If not for Naughty Dog at this point, perhaps another first-party studio under PlayStation. A tie-in game to the movie, Speaking of which, PlayStation Productions has an official website now. It was brought to my attention that Sir Daniel Fortescue's legs appear in their introduction video. Sir Dan would be the main character in Medieval. A remake of the first game was released back in 2019. Medieval Resurrection, which was a reimagining of the first on PSP, got released on PS Plus Premium on August 15th. Does this hint at a movie or a TV show of the franchise? Who knows? Really. So naturally, we try and put 2 and 2 together, but then there's Ratchet & Clank in their opening animation. This IP got a movie back in 2016, it was outsourced to third party back then, we have to remember. After all, PlayStation Productions was founded in 2019. So again, what does this mean for Ratchet & Clank? Are they getting another movie or TV show? Are we going to ask this question every time we see a character in their opening? But one thing's for sure. The mass majority of characters we have in their opening right now either already have a project in the works or already have an active running movie or TV show. So, with that said, what are your thoughts on all this? Do you picture a live-action Jak and Daxter film? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, a massive thank you to my supporters on Patreon, and hey, if you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, you can find a link in the description box below. Thank you for watching, you can call me Vivi, and until next time.